Hi, my name's Colin Eagers and I'm a recent grad from NBCC. I'm a firm believer that volunteerism is an important part of life as well as the college experience. During my time at NBCC, I volunteered for countless organizations and events. I was a part of student union, I coached volleyball and hockey, as well as volunteered for events like Shine-A-Rama and the Dragon Boat Festival. I know firsthand that volunteering can be fun and rewarding. So let's see if we can find a couple stories here in our backyard. I know our staff and faculty are made up of an amazing group of people who care very much about the communities and people that surround them. Let's try talking to Cheryl Roberson. Cheryl has been a voluntary member of the board and the first chair of the board for the past 4 years. She is a great college spokesperson and an amazing community leader. Let's see what she has to say.
I grew up in an engaged community in a village called Plasterock. And by using the word engaged, I mean I had my mother especially, my parents, but especially my mother, and 6 older siblings who modeled the way for me in this area of becoming engaged in activities in the community. I've learned that diversity is a valuable asset in any kind of volunteer work. It's important to have people with you who have different perspectives, different opinions on things so that you can gently challenge each other and work through to a consensus position of what's the best solution in a certain situation. And I can say honestly that almost every volunteer activity I've been associated with in the last 10 to 15 years in the communities in which I've served and worked, we always end up talking about the need for more diversity around the table. Volunteer work is, as I've said before, work. It does require people to sacrifice, give up their time, very precious commodity, maybe the most precious, to contribute their talents, whatever they are, their gifts, and sometimes financial resources, depending on one's ability to do that. So yes, I would encourage faculty, staff, alumni, and students to become engaged in volunteer work within their communities in any way they can. This incredible value of the volunteer work does not get factored into the gross domestic product calculations of our province or of our nation. And yet, without this valuable volunteer work in our communities would look quite different. And they would be much less civilized places to live, work, and play, I would argue. And I think it's important for leaders at the college to encourage their colleagues to become involved however they can. And if people are wondering, gee, I'd like to, I'm willing to do this, but I don't know where to go, often communities have volunteer bureaus. There are all kinds of needs out there. It's just a matter of doing a little bit of research and asking questions, and there'll be many, many people who will be willing to give counsel and assistance in how to become involved.
By the end of the year, we had actually involved all the staff. We had involved our SRC here at the AHEC, and by the end we had raised over $11,000 for stem cell research. And so I guess when we look back, we did a lot of things like coffee houses here at the AHEC, which was fun because the students got very involved in that. We had a fashion show where we involved staff and a local sales representative to come and we did a nice fashion show for the community. We also served breakfast at the Kingston Market. I think that students get a chance to learn how to organize certain events. They learn the effort that it takes to bring events together and to fundraise. But they also get to see how much things cost. They get to see their money, where that money actually goes. And they get to learn about various programs out there that are worthwhile of their time and their energy.
I've used volunteering and community service learning in 2 different programs over the past several years. In the Applied Studies internship program, we had some graphic artists who were able to redevelop the logos and do new print material for a not-for-profit organization that changed its name. The second thing we did was planned, implemented, and evaluated a Christmas breakfast for participants of Big Brothers Big Sisters organization here in Fredericton. On the human service program, which is where I normally teach, we've done things like a community breakfast to raise funds to send developmentally delayed adults to Camp Rotary. And another really interesting thing we did, we had a group of students who planned, implemented, and evaluated a community fun day in one of the low-income areas in the city of Fredericton. As an instructor, one, I get a lot of work. Two, I get the opportunity to watch the students come back and the glow on their face when they realize that they've actually been successful in pulling off a major community event. One-time volunteering is useful for a one-time event, but when we're looking at the not-for-profit sector in particular, they rely on repetitive and continuous volunteering. So I ask people, before they make a decision to become involved in volunteering, that they actually sit back and weigh the cost and make sure that they can make the commitment over a sustained period of time or a predetermined period of time to actually carry out what they've agreed to provide.
We do the Indulge Food Festival, which has a community piece as well. Students get out and they work with industry, they work with chefs, they work with hoteliers and inn owners, and they get involved with the community with being out front and being front and center. We have the Fundy Food Festival, which is held in St. John, which is the proceeds from that go to the St. John Boys and Girls Club. We've been involved now for about 10 years, but the festival is almost 20 years old now. There's some smaller things that we do in-house that are actually designed by the faculty of NBCC and also organized by the faculty, and then the students are involved. So we do the NBCC marketplace, where the students open their own business, and all the proceeds from the profit and the proceeds go to the local food banks. We also have a cake auction, so that the students design and build high-end cakes, and then we auction them off, get some really good dollar amounts as well, and the proceeds went to the Fun Day Transition House. So I guess it's twofold. Some of the activities that we do are designed and organized by the faculty, and then some are external activities that we get the students involved with. It's really great for morale. I mean, as we know, you get into February and March, and the days are short and the weather's cold. You know, if you have a carrot for those students, something for them to work towards, where they're actually going to be doing all of the work, planning, preparing, and then executing a function, is excellent. Keeps the spirits high, keeps the morale really good, makes classroom management very easy. As well, it's really nice to see after the fact, when the function is over, 2 or 3 months later, when the students there's still a buzz in the classroom, students are still talking about what they did, which is really cool to see, because they feel proud of what they've accomplished.
Is we actually facilitate a program for the City of Miramichi's Community Wellness and Recreation Department. Every fall and again in the winter, they offer a 10-week program called Girls on the Move, and the lead facilitators are actually our students. Year 2 students complete the facilitation in the fall of the year, and the year 1s complete it in the second term, in the winter. And another program that we've been doing, and it's purely volunteer with year 1 and year 2 students, is we offer youth night for the Autism Resource Center here in the Miramichi. That's every Friday night. We book the gym here at the NBCC College and a classroom, and youth from the community show up, and our students facilitate, peer mentor with the youth in order to help them build inclusion skills and social skills, and that's been phenomenal. Actually, our students have received 2 awards over the past years for their work in that program.
It's when you help students to come in and to gain confidence and to grow and to be willing to take some risks, and when you see them grow as people through the process. And a lot of people wouldn't have the courage maybe to go out and do volunteerism on their own. They might know it's a good idea and they might believe in it, but they might not have the courage to make that phone call. It's called Santa's Gift Mart, and it's a fundraiser that they use for pro kids, so kids can go into, you know, hockey or other events, other activities. And kids come in with their parents and they buy tickets, and they go around and they buy donated items. So some beautiful things, some new things, and so on. And then the volunteers bring them to the stations while their parents go sit and have a coffee. And then they bring them over to the gift wrap table, and the volunteers gift wrap. And the kids leave with presents for their families. So it's fun for everybody, as well as it raises funds for a community. And they really enjoyed that. We went on the Friday afternoon and helped them to set up, and then we went back Saturday morning and afternoon to help with the event itself. So I think a lot of them really enjoyed that, especially the ones that liked the kids. So those were kind of the big things. Another time, a group of them went to, we had a mobile soup kitchen, a bus in Moncton at that time, and they went to the warehouse and just packed baggies of food and so on for the bus. So like I say, it doesn't matter what you do, just find something that you're going to find some enjoyment and fulfillment from, and go do it.
Working in the community and doing volunteer work on your own or with your class just builds character, and it builds a relationship within your community. Through my 2 years as a student at NBCC, we took on a couple of charitable events and charitable organizations. First was CNIB, which is the Canadian National Institute for the Blind.
Really what it's about is it's about bringing academics to life, right? To make it real. That's the thing that I get out of this, is that you can take somebody to the classroom and teach them theoretical knowledge, but when you actually put that into place, that's when the light really comes on, and it makes a deeper learning, I think, when they can put into practice what they've actually learned. One example that we've worked on, that I've worked on with a group in the past, was our Habitat for Humanity home build in the Woodstock campus with the carpentry and electrical and plumbing students, and the instructors. Really supportive group of folks. The students absolutely enjoyed it. It's about tying academics with real life. It brings academics to life. It ties the two together. The students themselves have told us that it makes everything they learn in the classroom come that much clearer, right? So the students actually built a home that Habitat for Humanity put somebody that needed a helping hand into a home, and that, I got to tell you, felt really good to see, to know, I guess, that project that the students built was actually going to be somebody's home. That's a pretty good feeling, I got to tell you.
I feel extremely proud to have my family name associated with this initiative, which is part of the college's strategic plan being implemented, as we are about halfway through that first 5-year plan called Imagine the Possibilities. So things are unfolding wonderfully well, and I'm deeply touched, humbled, thrilled, honored, still incredulous, but I can guarantee you I will be looking forward to the launch and watching the progress of the results of everybody. So I wish everyone who's going to be involved in this, and I understand it will be everyone, all the professionals at the college, and hopefully the alumni and the students, all the best success in this wonderful, honorable initiative.